Hello, hello, Gutsy women, and welcome to this lovely Tuesday in June. And no matter what time of day it is, I hope you're having a wonderful, wonderful day. Today, I have the honor and privilege of interviewing Eveline Zwicker. I hope I've said your second name correctly, Eveline.
Philomena Zwicker, Evelyn
Zwicker,
Philomena Zwicker. Yeah.
thank you. And Eveline, you've got a wonderful story to tell. You do some wonderful work out there. So I would love you to tell the people watching today, live or on replay, what it is that you do. But first of all, what got you there? Where are you? And who are you?
Oh, all these questions.
I know.
So first of all, thank you for inviting me to this beautiful platform called Gutsy Women Today. Health, strength. What was the second one? What was after that? Patience and empower, resilience and empowerment. Yeah, yeah. Those are values we all need to uphold and embody, especially in this time where the divine feminine is so needed. And so it's so beautiful that you have this group and that I can be part of this group and speak my truth, which is what we all need to be doing. And it kind of ties in with my logo. As you can see at the back, it's a heart with wings, and the logo stands for liberation and empowerment. So, about liberating the heart so you are able to speak your truth. And I'm a sacred teacher and healer of the heart. I am based in the Netherlands. And yeah, I got into this work after spirit knocked on my door several times, and I didn't want to open it, but I was forced to open it because I had to go through a burnout and two divorces. And the burnout happened because I was not living from my truth. I was not speaking my truth. I was in the shadow of my first husband. I was living from a program of suffering and lack, not knowing this, of course, and that's what most of us don't know, that we have this programming and that we are creating our lives from this programming. But that's not our truth. That's the illusion that we're creating. But our mind thinks that that's the truth, and so it keeps us victim to this truth. So after I had my first burnout, that's when I started awakening. That's when I came to the path of realizing there is more to life than just the life I'm leading. There's more to me. I have a heart, I have a higher self, I have a soul. And it was also a quest of self-love because I was somebody who did not love herself, who didn't think of herself as worthy. And so I was always caught up in relationships that were not fulfilling because they reflected my unworthiness, more narcissistic relationships, especially. And but I'm very grateful for them because they all brought me to this point where I am able to speak my truth with confidence and with inner power. And it's so important that we do this because if we don't speak our truth, if we dim our light, we become ill. There is a dissonance in our body, and that dissonance gets reflected in illness or in depression, right? And we cut ourselves off from source. And I have learned to connect to source and to realize that the mind, body, and soul are all interconnected. I'm also a holistic life coach, certified holistic life coach. So I learned about how everything is interconnected. And yeah, through living life, through experiencing life, through having a high-powered career and working more than 60 hours and not being attuned to my feelings, I had to learn the hard way. And some of us are wired that way, that you have to learn the hard way, kind of have to run into that lamp um, time and time again until you realize, oh, I can go around it. So yeah, so that's where I'm at now. I now feel that I can speak and embody my truth.
That's amazing. And you said something where you said that it's all connected, and we don't know what the real truth is because we've had so much conditioning by society as we come into this world, this beautiful soul, and with no nothing there that you could say that baby's not going to be a nice person, or that baby's
Mm,
going to do
mm,
this or whatever. They're just
mm,
there. They're
mm.
an open
Yeah.
book to be written on. And sadly, some books are written on with lots of negative experiences from day one, and
Yes.
lots of conditioning around how we are to behave,
Yes.
and then the conditioning of being female in a society that is largely male dominated. And so there's all of this stuff goes on, and
Yes.
we adopt those behaviors, don't we, and those thought processes, and we just believe, because we are open books and we are
Mm.
sponges and we soak it all in. And that's the really powerful part, isn't it, Eveline, of like, we have to get to a certain place through certain experiences to
Yes.
actually realize, hang on a minute. Yeah. So
Yeah. And I think, as women, we carry this collective wound in ourselves of making ourselves small. No, we have been oppressed throughout history by a patriarchal society who has taken our voices away. The light workers amongst us, not all of us are light workers, but I'm a light worker, so I'm speaking for them. They have been persecuted, they have been violated. And so they carry this imprint of rejection, not being good enough. And we carry that from past lives into our present energy. And that's one of the things I help transmute through Akashic Record clearing, that I help my clients to go into their records and clear all the programming and all the beliefs and all the actions that don't serve them anymore, and help to transmute it to love
hmm,
and to a life that's more in alignment with them.
hmm. So I've got a friend who lives in South Africa, and she's been um, doing Akashic records and readings for people for many, many years now.
Mm,
And I've heard how powerful it is. Is there a level of
absolutely.
belief that someone would need to have around the Akashic records for it to be able to be fully accepted as, we all like to think this has worked for me or whatever.
Mm.
Is there a level of belief that needs to be there around that work in order for that to actually be beneficial to somebody? Or does it work anyway because it's in an area of the body that we don't even see anyway
Well,
a lot of the
the
time?
thing is, we all have these layers in us. As you said, we have this conditioning, and all of us are wired differently. So you could be at a certain level of consciousness where you're able to clear at a certain level, and somebody else who has not been open to that field of consciousness yet can only clear a small amount. So the clearing is related to where you are in your life, and how open you are, right? If you think this is sort of oh, I'm just going to do a clearing and I'll have everything cleared out of my life and I don't have to do the inner work anymore, then you're at the wrong address. Because we all have to work on ourselves. We all have to create that inner anchor of self-love and of worthiness and of trust. And from there we increase our frequency, and we can keep on, increasing our frequency more and more.
Mm.
Yeah.
Right.
There is no selection at the gate. It's not like, no, you can't enter because you're not conscious enough. No, it works at the level of the consciousness. And you are allowed to clear what is available, right? Because sometimes you're not ready yet, because you still have to have an experience in order for your soul to evolve, because that's why we're here to evolve. Our soul is in evolution to grow more and more in love.
Mm.
And every experience, whether good or bad, and that's looking at it from duality, I mean, it is what it is, right?
Yeah.
Helps us to grow. And we have a choice in how to see it, whether we see ourselves as victims. That's what I did, especially when I had all these hardships in my life. But then I was able to look at it and say, okay, I see this as a blessing. I am going to incorporate the wisdom and stand up for my power and my truth bit by bit, because that was a long process too. Um, and then see it for what it is. So life is always working for us and never against us.
Yes, I agree with that. And I really hear what you're saying when we can have negative things happening to us. And quite often they're like buses, they come along all at once. You wait forever and then a bus comes and then another one and another one. And they all seem to come together sometimes. And it's and we think that, why is this happening to me?
Mhm.
What have I done wrong to
Yeah,
have this experience
yeah,
time and time again?
yeah.
and and so that victim mentality that we all fall into, and I hold my hand up, I did that as well when I was
Mm,
going through my
of
chronic pain
course, we
journey.
all do. Yeah.
And it was all about that. It was all about my own thoughts and feelings around, you know what is it about me and all the things that happened to me. Why is this happening? Why is that happening? Why
Mm,
am I here again at this point?
mm, mm.
And you come to realize that you're going to keep getting the lessons until you learn it and you
Yeah.
do something about it. And it is all around our own personal
Mm,
responsibility of
mm,
seeing that. And I
mm.
think that's the point you actually touched on there, around the 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 pivotal point. Did you have more than one pivotal point that got you to be where you're at now, or was it one in particular?
Well, no, I mean, my life, my life has been my lessons in a way, right? So I had the burnout, that was the first one, and then I had the marriage where I was married to somebody who turned out to be a transsexual, so he became a woman. That was the first shock, and then with the second marriage, that didn't work out because I wasn't in my self-worth enough, and I had a beautiful child, but he was crying the whole time. So I had to go through that in order to separate myself from that relationship and realize this is not the best for me. And after that, I had several relationships that were mirroring this pattern of unworthiness and not being able to speak my truth and stand in my power. So, yeah, I would say that they were all pivotal moments because they brought me deeper and deeper to my self-love, because I didn't realize that was the issue. And I needed all these, yeah, bangs on the head, if you call it, to really come to that place and say, oh, I need to love myself first. It's the frequency of me that needs to be transmuted and healed, and then I can be in the world. Instead of chasing, um, love, or chasing a career, or chasing everything for validation, it had to happen with me validating myself first. Yeah.
Yes, and that is the huge lesson that we sometimes know, but then fail to actually act upon because of various other reasons as
Yes.
well. We have to
Yes.
free ourselves from those circumstances.
Hmm.
And for me, I would say it's this pattern has to stop. That was the thought I had. What would you say to women listening here today about, if they're in a situation or situations that they can see a pattern in their lives that needs to change? What would you actually, what words of wisdom and
I
advice would you give them?
when I stepped out of my second marriage, I was reading Louise Hay. We're all familiar with Louise
Yes.
Hay, and she had this exercise where you had to write on a piece of paper, "Is this the best for me?" And I wrote it on a post-it, and I stuck it on the fridge. And every day I would see it and I would question, is this relationship the best for me, or whatever, right? So is this the best for me? And that started a process of inquiry where I was able to take a step back out of the emotion and everything else, what was happening, because I was unhappy, but I wasn't in a place to acknowledge that truth yet. Staring at that post-it and asking myself that question brought on the answer and the truth. And I think that's what women need to do that are in a predicament, that are now perhaps in a divorce, or near to a burnout, or whatever big transformation. Ask yourself honestly, is this a job working out for me? Is this relationship working out for me? Is this the best for me? Actually, that was the question. Is this the best for me? Because you deserve the best. We all deserve the best. We don't deserve breadcrumbs.
Mm.
We don't deserve to be in jobs where we don't get the proper money for it, right? We we deserve the best. I mean, we're divine beings. We don't have to prove our worth. We're divine from the get-go. But through all this programming and conditioning, and that's where I was at, we forget that. And we think that we are this shell of a person we've become through relationships, right? Through bad experiences. And we keep on repeating those bad experiences. And the question is, yeah, do you want to live a life of mediocrity? Or do you want to live the most aligned and beautiful life you can have? And it's up to you to create it.
Mm. There may be women who are watching this today who are in those difficult situations, those challenging situations, whether it's a job, a relationship, family issues, health issues,
Mm.
all of those kinds of things. And they are wanting to move through that and move past that. And what would you say is the one thing that they could actually do other than that, what you've just done? Because that's a brilliant technique if somebody's ready to actually do that thing. If
Mm.
somebody's still before that point and they're in a place of, say, depression or anxiety and they can't see a way forward, what would you say would be something that they could actually do for themselves right now to lift some of that energy, that lift them from that darkness into a place of light?
Um, when you're in a dark state, it's hard. I know I've been in that tunnel and you don't see the light. Remember, the light is always there, and it's up to you to take steps towards the light, to find little increments of joy. What makes you happy? Do you like to dance? Do you like to sing? Do you like to paint? Do you like to go outside? Taking little steps to nourish your soul and to realize that your soul is there for you and it's guiding you. So you're never on your own. Although you might feel like your whole world is falling apart, you've failed, right? All these negative beliefs, it's not your truth. Spirit is showing you where your life is not aligned. And when you realize that, you can shift your mind to creating a life that is aligned. And it takes time, and it's not like this. And I know that because I've been there. But once you let spirit hold your hand, you're on the right path. It's about connecting to your heart again, connecting to love, perhaps praying, perhaps writing. I did The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron.
Mm.
I didn't finish it because I'm a person who starts projects and doesn't finish them because there's something else is there, like a magpie, that everything that's shiny, it's like, oh, I want to do that. I want to do that.
Yeah.
But I wrote morning notes, and that's what she says. Write down how you're feeling. Good morning notes every day. Put your shit on the paper, and then you can see what you're creating with your thoughts. There was at one point where I was writing, my life is shit. I can't do anything right, all this negativity. And then after a while, when you read this, you think, God, this is so negative. That's not me. That's not my truth. Something inside of you will start saying, no, you know, that's not who I am. I want to be a happier person. And that's inside of me. I am the creator of my own life, and I am in charge. And so once you realize that you have the reins, you can take the reins of your life and start creating from love again instead of fear or negativity. Yes, it takes time. You're not going to go get there from zero, to 100. You need to take these basic steps, but start doing the things you love. Start dancing. I love to dance. I love to
Mm.
sing. So all these things that help to nurture your soul. And then a window opens and you start feeling a bit more joy. And once you feel a bit more joy, you increase your frequency bit by bit. And when you start increasing your frequency, you start attracting more things that give you joy. And then you increase your frequency more and more. And that's the way to healing.
Mm. Wonderful. Thank you so much. I'm sure there are so many women who will hear that and get
Mm.
so much from it, because it is all about joy. It is all about doing the things that you love, finding time for them. We've got lives, and
Mm.
quite often there isn't time to do the things we love all of the time and fill every second of the day with, but we must find some portion of the day to actually do the things that we love and do those more and more.
Every day. I would recommend every day before you do anything else, connect with your heart. Just put your hands on your heart and just, you know, just feel your heart and breathe into that love and breathe out that love and ask your soul, what do I feel like doing today? Before you have your to-do lists, before the thoughts come, what do I feel like doing today? And do it. And maybe you have this list, right? Because I've been there. I'm that type of person as well. Love lists, love, being on the go. But I found that when I let myself be in that energy, oh, I do want to go for my run now because I'm planned it for later this afternoon. But my soul says, do it now. I'm like, nah, I got all these things to do. Do it now. And then I come back feeling replenished. My mind is clear and I have much more energy and I'm more in a flow and I would be creating things that I wouldn't have been creating before because you're in that mindset of doing and not in that being mode, which is the divine feminine.
Wonderful. Eveline, this has been an absolute pleasure. You've opened my day today, because it's 10:30 this morning in the UK, and you've opened up my day with a wonderful, wonderful conversation. So thank you so much. And I am
Thank
going
you,
to do
Dee.
that. I'm going to have I have a mid-morning breakfast. I don't have an early breakfast, but I'm going to
Mhm.
have my mid-morning breakfast. I'm going to use my time to really enjoy that meal, and
Yes.
then I'm going to go out for my walk as well. So thank
Good.
you for that.
I'm glad. I'm glad. And thank you so much for inviting me. Yes, and beautiful women that are listening to this, be courageous, be that gutsy woman and discover your truth and learn to speak it. You're worth it.
Thank you, Eveline. Thank you so much. And if anyone would like to connect with Eveline, she's in the group, and she's more than willing to answer any comments or questions, and you can get in touch with her. I'm going to ask her to put her contact details into the group, and you'll be able to find her there as well. And Eveline, thank you very much. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and
Thank you.
we will see you again, most
Yes.
definitely. Thank you.